Well, hi there. It's Danielle, and I'm making this video because it is sometimes what I feel led to do when I feel it is in alignment with what I know now to be part of my purpose here on this earth at this time. I thought I had a different purpose, to be honest, when I was younger. Um, I think that's still part of it, but I think this was like the meat and bones of it. What I want to talk about and just put out there. I'm shaking. I'm going to try not to cry. So, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month every year. It's sometimes a difficult month for me. Like, I never actually really know like how it's gonna like hit me. Like, there's some times where I don't I don't feel it as intensely. This year has been one of those years where I'm really feeling that. And I want to talk about suicide because so many people don't want to. It's that, like, I don't know, it's better. I think it's gotten better. Like, honestly, it definitely has gotten better. More people do talk about it, and it's not as an uncomfortable, but there's still more to do with it. So, especially because as of lately, suicide rates are just the highest that they have ever been. Even attempts. Because an attempt doesn't necessarily mean that it was, that it ended in someone dying. As in my case, my attempt probably should have ended my life. But in my story, I truly believe that I just wasn't meant to go yet. And there was more for me to do, so here I am. Now, I want to talk about how that still can be very hard when just because you made it, and you didn't die, doesn't mean that you don't sometimes still feel those ways, like, you know? And it can be, I know for me, it has been a very, very tiring, exhausting journey to get to where I am today, which is that, yeah, that even though sometimes I might still have times of intrusive thoughts in that way, I have not any longer acted on them. And so that is where I can say that's pretty amazing, going from a person who literally, like, almost every time I had thoughts like that, like, I actually went and tried to, bring it out to the end. So that's a big deal, and that's a big difference. I wanted to, to talk about that yesterday morning. Well, I have a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. I've also had quite a few like physical blows to my head, ending in concussions. One blow to the head actually two blows. I had two different blows to the head that knocked me unconscious. One, I had a hematoma, a big blood-filled swelling on the top of my head. The last concussion that I suffered, I was then left with post-concussion syndrome. And my brain has still been healing from that. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on up there for me to have to manage. And yesterday morning, it was one thing in particular at the moment that just kind of like set everything off. I was looking for something I couldn't find, and then I guess, I don't know, maybe all the built up stress and overwhelm from feeling the different heaviness in the universe with different stuff going on, and I just I had a very bad episode. I had one of my episodes that I haven't had in a really, really, really long time. Like I actually don't even remember the last time that things went so berserk and out of control. And I wanted to, now as much as it can sometimes be embarrassing for me to share these things, I think it's important because I just want people to understand from the place of the person that goes through it, like what they're experiencing in that moment and what they are capable and not capable of doing at that time. So I wound up, what happens when these episodes that I'm mentioning, what happens within that episode is in less than a second, my brain goes black. It's like I just see black. I don't even see anything anymore. But I can very faintly hear myself. It sounds very muffled, very, very far away. If I could explain that, it would almost be as if there is another person standing in the room while this is happening to you, and that other person is you, watching you, hearing you, feeling. So the first thing that happens is stuff goes black. I can't see. And then after that, I usually start screaming on the top of my lungs, saying unkind things to myself. I was very angry at myself that I couldn't find something of mine. And I just started screaming at myself, damn it, Danielle, why can't you just get your fucking shit together? Why can't you just be a normal person? Now why do you have to act like this? And then I didn't realize it at the time, but I remember hearing after that, it just all flooded back in after it happened, and I had been able to calm myself down, which took a long time, but I heard myself just screaming out in like this absolute like despair of please, please, please take me. Please don't make me go through this anymore. Please. I hate this. I was just begging. I was just begging to be, please take me out of my misery. That my brain is just quite a beast to manage on a daily basis. And I don't talk about it all the time because it's that's something that you want to be talking about all the time. It's just something that within oneself, for me anyway, that I just have to keep finding ways to not be okay. I have to just find ways to not be okay. AKA manage when I'm manage things. It lasted about, I think, maybe about 6 minutes. I was throwing things around all over my room and kicking the door, and I want to talk about, and this is hard for me, so just bear with me, but it's important, so please listen. I want to talk about if something like that happens when other people are around to witness it and hear it. It's one of the most awful things for me. And why? For a long time, I had isolated myself, and I had like a big wall up and really didn't want to let people in too much. I don't want anyone to see that. It's scary enough for me, who can't stop it when it's happening. So, what does one do when in the presence of someone having a very scary episode like that? What does one do? I don't have all the answers. I really don't. All I can do is share what I know can be helpful for both people, because, or however many people, for all people involved, because all people involved are affected. I know I have seen people very upset before, and it is very scary. And my first reaction had always been to freak out. You know, like, oh my God, no, stop, calm down, you know. And that was due, and understandable. That's very valid. I just want everybody to know that's absolutely valid to me. Most people react to people screaming and yelling and such in that way. I was never taught how to respond to that kind of heightened emotion in any other way. But being somebody who experiences terrible episodes like that, because my brain fuses out. Here's what I can say about it is, if you feel comfortable with approaching the person, just do it quietly and calmly. That's all. Just, I know that's very hard. And if you can't, or if you need a minute before you approach them, that's okay too, to go center yourself, take yourself to a bathroom or off to the side and just take a second, center yourself, and then go and approach them if you want. If you can't, if you feel like you can't approach them at all, that's okay too. Please don't. And you can maybe just quietly, leave the area if you're able to. If you're not, and they really are scaring you that much, I could advise, like I said, if you're going to approach, just say, it's the what I'm trying to get at is it's the volume of voice in you when someone is going through a few minutes like that, that the raising of your voice, screaming in any type of way, is just there. That's one thing that absolutely does not help at all, but absolutely heightens things for the other person, because when I am in that way, I don't know why someone else is screaming. I mean, I know it's in response to, what they're hearing me go through, and I know that they're getting scared and terrified, but I also, what I mean is, I don't know why they're screaming, stop, 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 like, and like I said, in that moment, I don't know why. Afterwards, I'm like, oh yes, I know that must have been very scary. In the moment, I can't. I don't know anything. I promise. It's only for a few minutes, but please don't scream. Anyway, please. I know it's very hard, but in those few moments that person can't get themselves back, they don't need you making it about you and how terrified you are, and that's up to you to please try to help yourself in that moment. If you are unable to be of help to them, please be of help to yourself. That's how you can be of help to them. Make sure you're good and comfortable, however that is. Even if that means you need to leave the area, that's okay. Just don't make it worse, is all. That's all I'm trying to say. So, yesterday morning, my brain it took a beating. And I'm recovering from it. And I'm sad about it, because I don't like feeling this way. Who does? So I've had to cancel some things that I was looking forward to, because I know I just need a little bit more time and rest. It's pretty much as if I were to come on here and say, I was in an accident and I broke my arm. So yesterday morning, my brain was in an accident, and it got bruised up and battered a little, and we just need some time. So Yeah, I have today been battling some intrusive thoughts, but I'm not going anywhere. that's not that's not happening. But it's important that I talk about this. I don't like that I have this topic to talk about. I don't. I'm not a fucking hero. I'm not a fucking, you know, strong ass fucking, whatever. Yeah, okay, maybe you want to see that about me. I'm just a person, just like anybody else. A human being who's just going along and, trying to work out how to live on the daily, day to day. So, that's all of us, I hope that this helps someone. I know it's 21 minutes long. Maybe some people won't even watch it. Maybe somebody will. I don't know. And that's okay. But if you do see this, whether you are me in this situation or the other person in this situation, I hope that this has helped you in some way. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult thing. But it's not impossible for all of us to learn new things that we didn't know before. So, if you're open to learning, here's a little lesson that I thought I would put out there for you when it comes to somebody experiencing a mental health episode. That's all. Signing off. Be well.